So I definitely want to start this by disclaiming a couple of things. This video is going to talk about sensitive content. I am going to talk about racism and Back the Blue and a lot of other controversial things that have been going around. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys have been hearing about this and you're sick and you're tired of hearing about it. But it doesn't matter if you're tired of hearing about it because it's not getting better. And until it starts getting better, you can't just be tired of hearing about it. And I also want to start by saying that I have spent a lot of time thinking about this, and I've been trying to come up with a way that I can be direct, and I can be honest, and I can be a part of the solution without being divisive or hurtful or disrespectful to anyone in any way. Except for cops. I'll be disrespectful to cops. But that's... Again, okay, so I'm just going to start... and the first thing that I really want to put out there is that I do understand that cops are people. I understand that there are people who go into that profession with good intentions and that a lot of them really think that they're doing something to help. But they're supporting, contributing to, and being a part of a system that is corrupt and it's oppressive and it's been oppressing people like from the beginning. And it's the entire justice system perpetuates injustice, like ironically enough. Sorry, I'm trying to like calm down, not get my too passion out there. But yeah, so the system is rigged to let people who support the status quo walk. It is rigged to maintain the status quo by keeping the people who are on top and keeping the people who are on the bottom. Secondly, I do agree that all life matters. Every life is precious and every life has meaning. But all lives can't be perceived to matter until Black Lives Matter first. It doesn't matter. Guys, police brutality is not new. It's not some recent occurrence. Like, it's not even as recent as you might be thinking, like 2014 with Michael Brown and all of them. It's not new. It's discrimination by the authorities with the intent of keeping the lower classes in the lower classes is far from a recent development in the world, let alone in America. And if you think that this isn't about race, you're not paying very much attention. Thirdly, minority voices matter. If you are not a part of an oppressed group, how can you possibly purport to know whether or not that oppression is happening? If you are white and you haven't witnessed police brutality and you haven't witnessed injustice or ethnic discrimination or racial discrimination, it's because you're not a part of that group that would be oppressed by that. You're not a part of the group that is being discriminated against. So just because you don't see it doesn't mean anything. It's been happening for decades. Just because your privilege prevents you from having to witness that firsthand doesn't mean it's not happening. Fourth, I will never stand with Back the Blue. Yes, they are people. Yes, some of them are good people. However, when you enter into a profession that perpetuates a system of violence, oppression, escalation, and dehumanization, you sign away the idea that you are not a part of the problem. You are enforcers in a system that, in that same system that tries to keep people in their places, right? Cogs and the aristocracy where they belong, according to societal expectations. You choose that. You choose to be a part of that system. You choose to enforce that system. And you continue to choose that every single day when you put on that badge and you go into work. When you walk into a peaceful protest and you decide to escalate that situation, you are the problem. Finally, you can kindly unfollow, unsubscribe, whatever, all of my social media if you condemn the riots. Maybe, in your eyes, they took it too far, sure. But again, This is a system that's been stepping on the heads of the lower classes for decades. These are people who are scared. They are scared for their communities. They are scared for their lives. They are scared for their rights. And that fear turns into outrage. When they realize that they are just as valuable as everyone else, that fear turns into rage. Because how can you stand for a system that doesn't treat people equally in a country that is founded on the principles of treating everyone equally, of giving everyone equal opportunities? And if you can't look beyond your perspective and understand the generations of damage and disrespect and the toll that that takes on the individual psyches of all of the people involved, then you aren't raised right. You are missing something. You are not looking at the entire picture. And it didn't happen all of a sudden. It's not like this came out of nowhere. They tried to protest peacefully. Colin Kaepernick took a knee, and people called him unpatriotic and un-American. They've been trying to tell us for years that this was going on. People have been calling out and protesting and crying out and begging for help for years, and the system hasn't done anything about it. We haven't done anything about it. So you can cry reverse racism all you want, but this is about holding on to your privilege. This is about holding on to the power institutions that create an unlevel playing field because you're afraid of losing that advantage. So don't act like this isn't about you holding on to something. Don't act like you're better than other people, because you're not. And if you are a white person and you have that privilege and you have that place of power and you are not using it to stand up for people and to speak out against the injustices that are happening, then you're a part of the problem. Thank you.